In this lecture, we examine how to design a social and emotional intervention plan in special education through an academically rigorous, data-driven lens. Effective intervention begins not with a strategy, but with a precise understanding of need. The educator must identify whether the concern is individualized, such as self-regulation or peer interaction, or group-based, such as classroom-wide emotional dysregulation or conflict. Visual representations of observational data, behavior logs, and assessment summaries help clarify patterns across time, setting, and antecedent conditions. The goal is to move from impression to evidence. Once the need is defined, the next step is selecting evidence-based strategies. This requires matching intervention components to the behavior's function and the learner's developmental profile. For example, students with deficits in social communication may benefit from explicit modeling, social narratives, and guided rehearsal, while students with emotional regulation challenges may require self-monitoring, coping skills instruction, and structured feedback. Animations can illustrate the relationship between trigger, response, and consequence, reinforcing the principle that intervention must be functionally appropriate, culturally responsive, and instructionally feasible. Implementation planning is where design becomes practice. A strong plan specifies who will deliver the intervention, how often it will occur, in what setting, and with what materials. It also defines measurable goals, fidelity checks, and progress monitoring procedures. Here, visual flowcharts can show the sequence from baseline data collection to intervention delivery to weekly review. Monitoring must be systematic, using indicators such as frequency of target behaviors, duration of engagement, or rubric-based ratings of social interaction. Without fidelity and progress data, even well-designed interventions cannot be evaluated accurately. Intervention plan design integrates all components into a coherent framework. The plan should include the student profile, baseline performance, selected strategies, implementation schedule, responsible personnel, progress monitoring tools, and decision rules for intensifying, adjusting, or fading support. In doctoral-level practice, the intervention plan is not static. It is iterative, responsive, and grounded in continuous improvement. The educator asks not only, did the strategy work, but also, for whom, under what conditions, and why. Ultimately, designing a social and emotional intervention plan requires clinical judgment, empirical reasoning, and a commitment to equity. When educators align assessment, intervention, and monitoring, they create supports that are both individualized and sustainable, advancing meaningful participation, self-determination, and academic success for students with exceptional learning needs.